shoulder blade, scapula coming out of the body. When I first encountered this and when I first started teaching, I thought this was crazy. I mean, why would you encourage people to do that? Because it can seem kind of scary, that command. What do you mean my scapula, my shoulder blade is going to come out of the body? Does that mean that I'm dislocating the shoulder joint? Didn't make much sense to me, so I didn't use it very often. Until I realized that there's actually a lot of value to that command and that whole idea. And that comes into play here, starting with visualizing that bone as something completely separate and free moving. One particular action of the scapula that I'd like to detail with you. Here's another image of the scapula. It's called upward rotation, and it involves three different muscles. We've got the upper trapezius. Upper trapezius is going to be here. The lower trapezius, which is here, and then the serratus anterior. And all three of those contribute to an action called upward rotation. Can you picture, I know we haven't gone over muscle functionality yet, we will spend a lot of time here, but just a very quick introduction. If you can imagine the upper trapezius muscle, which is housed here on the superior border of the scapula, if you can picture that shortening, we saw the image of muscle shortening, and how that moves, how that affects the adjacent bone. If you can picture upper trapezius shortening or contracting, how it would pull on the scapula in the direction of that red arrow. So the upper trapezius is going to pull in that direction. The lower trapezius, as it contracts, is going to contribute, and it's going to pull on the medial border of the scapula, its attachment to the scapula. And then serratus anterior, as you can see back in that original image I showed you, serratus anterior actually shares a medial border scapular attachment with lower trapezius, so it's going to pull, but it's pulling from a completely opposite direction. You've seen serratus anterior. It's that sort of it's that muscle here that kind of attaches to the ribs. It's got little fingers. It's called serratus anterior because it's got that serrated shape to it. That's anchoring here. That's going to pull the scapula down in the direction of that red arrow. And so all three of those muscles contribute to this. If you can picture it, it's kind of like a pivoting. Upward rotation goes like this. Upper trapezius is pulling on its attachment. The lower trapezius is pulling on its medial border attachment, this direction. And the serratus anterior, which glides around that way, around the ribcage, is also going to pull on it this way. So upward rotation. Do you follow?